So today I'm doing a movie review on a movie that I recently watched, It Chapter 2. So honestly, before I even get into the plot of this movie, I'm going to say that one thing. This movie is extremely long. It's like 2 hours and 50 minutes. That's like endgame time almost. It dragged on quite a bit, the movie. There were times and scenes that were not that exciting, and I was like, oh my god, this is taking forever, come on, have something happen. And I was noticing, is this movie, I was throughout this whole thing, I was wondering, is this movie ever gonna end? Because it was just dragging on at some points. But anyway, so the plot. So it takes place 27 years after the first It movie. Basically, all the members of the Losers Club have moved on from Derry. Bill, he's become an author that struggles to write endings to his books. Beverly Marsh is in another abusive relationship with an adult man. Richie has become a comedian, and Stan, he just lives a normal life and he's just about to get married. And Eddie, he works on Wall Street and has lost weight. He's just literally honestly, I'd say he's literally like a male model at this point. And the only person that has not left Derry is Mike Hanlon. He is now Derry's librarian. And back in 1989, after they thought they defeated it, they made an oath that in 27 years, if Pennywise comes back, they'll all come back. So, in Derry, two guys are getting beaten up by a bunch of teenagers, and one of them is thrown over a bridge. And as the guy that's in the water, that's splashing and flailing around for help, he sees a figure on the bank, and he swims over to the figure, and as he gets closer, to reveal that figure is none other than Pennywise the Dancing Clown. He's back. Bill Skarsgård is back as Pennywise, and honestly, as always, once again, he kills it. He kills it as Pennywise. He's just so creepy and funny and just cool as Pennywise. So, yeah, so then the other guy gets down to the bank and he sees Pennywise kill his friend, and then Mike comes down and he begins to think, okay, Pennywise is back, I gotta call the gang. So he calls everyone back, and everyone at first is very confused. Everyone seems to have scrambled memories about what actually happened in the first movie. And it is also revealed, so if you guys remember Henry Bowers, the bully that was possessed by Pennywise that Mike pushed down the well in the first movie, and we all thought he was dead. Well, apparently back in 1989, he apparently survived, and since he killed his father in the first movie, he got sent to a mental institution, and Pennywise, since now he's back, he actually breaks Henry out. So Henry Bowers is back, and just off to try and kill the Losers gang. So the Losers gang, they all come together, they all meet up in Derry and just reunite in a Chinese shop, and they're all just rekindling their past, seeing where each of them has gone to. And then they all get into the topic of Pennywise, and they all have terrible hallucinations. And one thing and they also find out, and if you guys are fans of Stan from the first movie, I have bad news for you. He's dead. He commits suicide as soon as he gets the call from Mike to come back to Derry about it. He commits suicide, he slits his wrist, and he's dead, and that's it, he's dead. So, after all these hallucinations and learn about Stan being dead, Eddie, Richie, and Beverly, and also Ben, they all consider just leaving and packing up and just forgetting about the whole thing. But before Bill walks off, Mike is able to convince Bill to just come with him and learn a bit more about it. Just because if you remember, Bill has way more of a emotional reason to kill it because he killed Georgie. So Mike shows through hallucination, Mike is able to show Bill how Native Americans, how they dealt and contained it in its pure form, how they were able to control and contain it and just basically deal with it. They would do a ceremony with other people, with other natives, to basically capture its pure form, which is the deadlights, in a container. So, and that the only way this works is if the losers is back together and they all have a personal item. So, and after seeing all this, and after Bill sees this, he realizes that it's time to get rid of it. So they all convince each other, and also they all convince each other, especially when they learn from Beverly that she already knew that Stan was going to die, and that they will also die if they don't fulfill their promise to each other to kill it, because back in the first movie, when she saw the deadlights, she saw the future of what was going to happen if they didn't fulfill their promise to kill it. So they all go to their clubhouse, so they all go to their old clubhouse when they were kids to retrieve Stan's shower cap, because that is his item, and since he's dead, he technically can't do it. So and then Michael says, just as they're right after they get the shower cap, Mike tells them to each go after their own item and also to get their memories back of Pennywise. So they all split off into their own separate directions. And Beverly, she goes back to her old house, who, now that her father is dead, she is run by a nice old lady named Miss Kirsch. And they're talking, and Miss Kirsch, and this is, I guess you could call an Easter egg, she talks about her father, who apparently seemed like he was actually Pennywise. I don't know. So then, just as Beverly finds her item that she needs, which is actually the love poem that Ben wrote her back in the first movie, but she thinks it's from Bill, because she forgot about that Ben actually liked her, and she didn't know that Ben actually liked her. So Mrs. Kirsch, being controlled by Pennywise, comes at her as a witch, and she tries to get Beverly, but fails. So then we go to Bill, who goes to an antique shop to get his old bike, and he ends up that scene, it took so long, like it was dragged on. Like, to be honest, that's like a theme of this movie. Some scenes drag on more than they have to. Like, the scene in the bike shop, or the antique shop, took like 5 minutes. It did not have to take that long. Like, nothing even happened. It was just him getting his bike. So he gets the bike, and he goes back to where he used to live, and there's actually someone else living there now, a young boy named Dean. And Bill talks to the boy, and supposedly Dean, he's actually now hearing voices from his shower drains. So Bill goes over to the sewer where Georgie was killed by Pennywise back in 1988, and he asks the sewer, Pennywise, like, why did he kill Georgie? And Pennywise comes out and responds to Bill, it's because you weren't there for him. So Pennywise then tries to drag Bill and kill Bill and drag him into the sewer, but he fails. And also in the process, Bill is able to grab the paper boat that Georgie brought to the sewer when he was killed. So then Eddie, he goes to a pharmacy, to the old pharmacy, and gets his inhaler, and is also attacked by the leper, because he's still, even after all these years, he's still afraid of germs. Like, come on, Eddie. Like, you're still afraid of germs? You're an adult man? I mean, I don't know. So then we go to Ben, who he goes to high school, and he finds out that his important item is the one signature that he got in his yearbook from Beverly. And yeah, and Pennywise also tries to attack him. but he escapes. And last but not least, we have Richie, who in the first movie, he was my favorite character. He was just the funny guy. Like he was the funniest, and he had the best interaction with Pennywise, if you remember it.
Beep beep, Richie.
Yeah, that one was pretty funny. So he goes to the arcade, and which is now closed, and he gets a arcade token. When he's walking away with the token, he sees Pennywise just standing on top of a I guess statue, and he begins to just mock Richie. And when he was doing it at first, like when I was watching, I was like, why is he mocking him? Like I was like, oh my god, if we're gonna get another Beep Beep Richie? I was like, if we get that, I'm gonna laugh so hard. But he don't. He just starts to sing. Pennywise Bill Skarsgård starts to sing to Richie, and he's like, I know your secret, your dirty little secret. I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, I really didn't get it. Like, here's the video clip.
What, Street Fighter? Oh, yes, you like that one, don't you? Or maybe Truth or Dare. Oh, you wouldn't want anyone to pick Truth, though, would you, Richie? You wouldn't want anyone to know what you're hiding. I know your secret, your dirty little secret. I know your secret, your dirty little secret. Should I tell you what?
So then they all have their items, and they all go back to where they're meeting up, and Bill actually finds out that Pennywise is trying to kill the young boy that he met, Dean, and Bill's still feeling guilty about having Georgie being killed, goes to the carnival to save Dean from from Pennywise. But sadly he's too late. He watches as Pennywise devours Bill, or dang it, as he devours Dean right in front of him, and he fails to save another kid. Feeling also even more guilt-ridden, he goes to the house, to 29 Neibolt House, to try and defeat Pennywise once and for all on his own, which, once again, the losers come by his side with their items, with everything all ready, and they come ready to face him off against Pennywise together. So they all descend down into the depths where they fought it the last time, and they actually go to the site of the meteor or asteroid where it crashed to Earth like millions of years ago. So and they prepare the ceremony, and they all burn their artifacts in the container, and through the ceremony they actually are able to pull the deadlights into the container. But and just when they think it's all over, Pennywise comes out, and Mike also admits that the ceremony isn't gonna work because it actually killed all of those that were a part of the ceremony, and that's how it got out. So then Pennywise just says that he missed that. Over these past 27 years, he thought about him. He was waiting so much to see the losers again. And there we go. And then he takes the form of a giant spider. It really is cool. And he just tries to go after the losers. So, and they're all split up. So Bill, Ben, and Beverly, they're all trapped in their own mini nightmares. Bill, he basically goes through the whole thing where he's in his basement when he saw Georgie, and the only way he gets out is by officially just saying and admitting to himself that he's not guilty, that it wasn't his fault that Georgie's dead. He finally gets over it. And then Ben and Beverly are trapped in their own place, in their own nightmares, and the only way they get out is by Ben finally admitting that he wrote the poem to Beverly. And meanwhile, Richie and Eddie, they are not in their own mini nightmares, but they are trapped at the doors marked not scary at all, scary, and very scary. And they go into the not scary at all door again, and they find a little mini Chihuahua dog. And it turns out that that dog is Pennywise. And it's just really funny how he's like, they're like, oh, the dog's so cute. And then they realize, oh yeah, it's Pennywise. And they just start being so mean to this little dog. So then all the losers, they come back into the main area, and Richie actually saves Mike from being killed by Pennywise, but Richie gets caught in the deadlights, and Eddie saves him, but is sadly hurt badly. And yeah, and then they're all able to mock it, basically just mock Pennywise for being only a clown. Like, they basically just say, you are nothing but a clown, and they eventually are able to weaken him so much that he turns into a baby, and they crush his heart and supposedly kill him, maybe. But and sadly Eddie dies from his injuries, so both Stan and Eddie are dead. And it turns out that Richie was actually gay. He was gay. Surprisingly, he was gay. I did not think that, but yeah, he was. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I got interrupted. But, where was I? So, yeah, Richie was gay, and he actually had a crush on Eddie. And we learned that as he goes back to the kissing bridge, and it turns out he was, yeah. So, yeah, then this loser, they all go their separate ways. Once again, Beverly and Ben, they end up together, and Richie mourns Eddie's death. Bill goes back to, try and finally finish a book, not grief-stricken, and Mike finally leaves, Derry. He just packs up and leaves. And in the end, they all get letters before Stan killed himself, before he killed himself, and he just tells them that just to live their lives to the fullest, and that he believes in them beating it. So yeah, that's pretty much it, chapter 2 in a nutshell. Honestly, what I feel was the strongest thing about this movie was the cast. The cast was amazing. They did so good filling the roles that they had. One thing again that I complained about was the movie was long, and some points it dragged on, like some parts it was like where nothing was going on. It was just not, it dragged on. It was boring at some points. But this movie still was really good. It was nice and kind of scary. Bill Skarsgård, again, as I said, fulfilled his role as Pennywise. So, summing all that up, I'm going to give this movie, I'd say a C+. So, yeah, C+, I'd give it. So, yeah, It Chapter 2, done. Next movie, and now on to the next movie. The next movie, it's about another clown. This clown, he's not demonic or creepy like Pennywise, but he's a little crazy, and he has a sick laugh. This is it. And if you can't get it right, if you still can't figure out what the next movie I'm gonna be watching is, here's the clip.
Murray, one small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker? Send in the clowns.
Yeah, it's Joker. I'm watching Joker next week. I don't know when, but anyway, yeah, I'm excited to see Joker. I'm really excited to see how Joaquin Phoenix did his Joker. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give this a like, and consider subscribing if you have not. And I'll see you guys next time.
It's over.